Today we will be taking the lecture on the lipid and the proteins of the membrane. The topics that will be covered in this lecture are like this. We'll discuss first about the lipid, how many types of lipids are present in plasma membrane, the asymmetry of lipids, how they are arranged in an asymmetrical manner. The motions of lipid means the lipid molecules can move with the help of what forces. The fluidity of the lipid bilayer, lipid molecules have the ability to diffuse. So the fluidity part will be discussed. At last, we'll discuss the membrane protein. So let's get started. First of all, let's first understand what lipid is, as we have already discussed and talked about it. Let's first revise what are its structure and its formation or arrangement in the plasma membrane. As we have discussed that lipids are amphipathic in nature, having the head part and the tail part. The head part is the hydrophilic, that is water loving, and the tail part is in the hydrophobic, that is the water fearing tails. And these are arranged in the bilayer in the plasma membrane. Every layer means every single monolayer. These two are together form the bilayer, the first layer that is present on the outer side exoplasmic space, and the another layer, that is, we can say, the inner leaflet present on the cytoplasmic space. So two layers arrange themselves in such a way that their head portion is always toward the aqueous environment, which is both the cytoplasmic and the exoplasmic space is both aqueous environment. Therefore, the lipid bilayer therefore the lipid bilayer arranged in such a way that their head portion is toward the um, aqueous environment, and the hydrophobic, that is the tail part, form the center of the bilayer, thus form the hydrophobic core where both the tails interact with each other. So this is the basic structure of the lipid and how they arrange in the plasma membrane. Now let's see what are the different types of the lipids are present in the plasma membrane. First one is the phospholipid. Second one is the glycolipid. And third one is the sterol. Phospholipid is one of the most abundant lipid found in the plasma membrane. And they are further classified into the two types on the basis of the backbone. The first one is the phosphoglyceride and the second one is the sphingolipid. How they are usually different from one another? They are basically the phospholipid, but they both are different in structure. Now let's discuss what are its basic structure. Phosphoglyceride, as the name suggests, it has some phosphate group attached to the glyceride unit. Glyceride unit is basically made up of glycerol and a fatty acid, and both of them are attached with the ester bond. Ester bond, and there is always a exception in everything. So the archaebacteria usually have the exceptions in their plasma membrane. They are not connected by the ester bond. Instead, there is the ether bond. Exception. Why the ether bond is usually present in the archaebacteria? Because archaebacteria are such organisms which usually prefer to live in the extreme environment, and the ether bond helps in that. Therefore, the archaebacteria have the ether bond in their plasma membrane instead of